All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It's Richland, Washington. It's not March. It's February 7th, 2022. It's very similar to what happened March 22nd, 2021, exactly 322 days ago at King Soopers, which is also owned by Kroger. And talk to some people here and see if they know what's going on. As we know, the Kroger shooting was a hoax, so it's entirely possible this one is too. You guys with the media? You guys with the news media? You're an independent journalist? Gotcha. What do you think about this? Did you want to be on camera, by the way? I'll keep you off camera. I always ask people. But what do you think about this?
What do you mean?
What do you think about this shooting here today?
It wasn't. Someone lost their life, and it wasn't pleasant. And
Do you know that somebody really lost their life? You do know that. How do you know that?
saw it.
You saw it yourself?
No, didn't saw it myself.
So how do you know that somebody actually died?
Actually recording right now. So.
Well, what are you recording? See, here's something interesting for your recording to pick up. So March 22nd, 322, there was a shooting at a King Soopers in Colorado. Do you recall this? They said a bunch of people died.
Okay.
That shooting was exactly 322 days ago. Do you know what 322 is? It's the number of a powerful secret society. Yale Skull and Bones, they put people in the Oval Office. They put people in the CEOs of companies. They control companies like Kroger. So these shootings are 322 days apart. And the last one was on March 22nd. Did you look into the Kroger shooting in Colorado at the King Soopers? It was a complete hoax. A complete hoax. Nobody died there. Just a national propaganda story because this is an agenda. And somebody might have really died here. I'm not saying that nobody died today. I came down here to investigate. Did somebody really die this time, or is it another complete hoax? Because they do complete hoax shootings, and that's what people need to wake up to. So you're saying you know that somebody died, so how do you know that?
You want to ask those guys down there.
Those guys know somebody down there?
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this guy says he knows that somebody died because these guys down here said so. So let's find out what they know. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
You guys with the news media?
Yeah, we are.
So you guys know what really happened here today?
Yeah, it was a shooting.
Was there really?
Yep,
How do you know that?
because that's what police said.
Because that's what the police said.
Yeah.
So if the police...
Several witnesses.
Are any of those witnesses around?
No, they're not.
You want to know what I know about this shooting?
I don't know if I care to know.
You don't know if you care to know?
No.
Well, do you recall the March 22nd shooting at King Soopers in Colorado?
Nope.
You don't recall that shooting?
Nope.
Big national news story.
Okay.
March 22nd, King Soopers. King Soopers is owned by Kroger. Who owns Fred Meyer?
Okay.
Who owns Fred Meyer?
Kroger.
Kroger does. So that shooting was on 322, March 22nd. Since you're in the media, what do you know about 322?
Nothing.
You know Tim Russert?
No.
You don't know who Tim Russert is and you work in the media?
So I don't know if I'm the right person to talk to.
You work in the media.
I think maybe you want to find somebody else to talk to.
I want to talk to you. You work
No,
in the media.
I'm good.
How do you not know who Tim Russert is? How do you not know who Tim Russert is, sir? Tim Russert, media mogul. Every Sunday morning, meet the press.
Why don't you leave him alone? He doesn't want to be on camera.
Well,
It's fine.
no, you guys are the media. I want to talk to the media. The media is helping propagate propaganda for agendas. So you should look into the King Soopers shooting because it was a total hoax on 322. And now here we are 322 days later. And we have another shooting at a store. They're telling us people died, but did anyone really die? You know? How often do you guys go and report a story where you're just told like the details through the police, but you don't really know anything that happened? No comment? See, that's the problem with this road, you guys. Just order followers. The authority said so, so we're just going to believe it. Again, anyone can look into that Colorado shooting and see what a load of shit it was. Do you want to answer any questions? Well, can I ask you why you wear a mask outside?
I like it.
You feel safer in there?
Should be.
Okay. It's too bad. They're just here to point cameras and listen to what the police say. You guys are Phoenix Security. Is there a police officer anywhere around? Did you guys know anything about the shooting here today? Why not? Why is it so top secret?
Top secret.
Then how come you can't give any information on it?
We don't know anything.
You don't know anything, right?
Relations officers for. Yeah.
Well, here, I'm just asking everybody who's here. Do you guys remember the King Super shooting last March 22nd in Colorado? Big national news story. King Super's mass shooting. It's also owned by Kroger, just like Fred Meyer. Do you remember this news story? We get so many news stories, maybe you guys forgot. It was the top story on 322. Today's exactly 322 days later, and we have another Kroger store shooting. I would encourage you guys when you go home to go back and look at the information for the Colorado store shooting. It was a complete hoax, and it's a psychological operations. And this stuff's going on all over the nation. And again, 322 is the number of Yale Skull and Bones. He's signaling the officers. I want to talk to a real officer. I want to hear some information about what's really happened here today.
So that's because I can't give you
Know anything.
we're fire department.
But do you think somebody would know something? We have to wake up as a society and see how we're being bullshitted. Good day, officer. Are any of you available for questions? No? No? Why not? What happened with the shooting inside? I don't want to talk to the media, so they don't know anything. You're the officer. What did you see in there? Was there any evidence of a shooting? Again, you guys might be complicit and part of an agenda that's based on bullshit to officers. Why can't you guys say anything? Again, here's your evidence of the shooting, you guys. A bunch of people that won't talk about nothing. Sounds legitimate, right? Again, I guarantee you this is a load of shit. 322 days after the last Kroger shooting on 322. Skull and bones all over. You guys think it's funny? Remember when Tim Russert asked Bush and Kerry about the odds of both being in Skull and Bones at 3 and what was up with 322? Ended up dead not long after at 223? The chopper's here. I saw the chopper and the police, so it's definitely real. Let's see if anybody knows anything. You want me to go on there? I'll give them some real news. Should we do it? Let's do it. Take one. You ready? Let's do it.
Do your thing, man. I'm not stopping you.
Well, don't you want some real news? I got some real information. You just want to provide propaganda and bullshit to people, huh? Get your check. See, that's what's wrong with society right there. Here, the crime tape's down here, so I see a group of people over here. Go see if these people know anything. Look at what's on their car. Integrity. Integrity. Do you guys feel it? Excellence. We're not saying anything. We're not talk to the media people. We're not saying anything. Officer, I've been looking for the supposed shooter, but the problem is the photo looks like it's from 1980. Do you guys have one that looks like it's from the HDH? Do you know why the only image out is like a picture that looks like it's from 1980? I noticed that in all the mass shootings. Always a picture that looks like it was from 40 years ago. Do you have any information about what supposedly happened inside? Do you know that a shooting even really happened inside? How come nobody has any information? Who does have the information?
Richland PD command staff went online and they provide all the information they have.
Here, I'll tell you something to think about that I know about. I'm an author and researcher. I've been doing this for 10 years. Do you know what Skull and Bones is? Powerful secret society out of Yale. They put people in the White House. The last two Skull and Bones presidents were the Bushes, his father and son. And in 2004, Tim Russert asked Bush and Kerry on Meet the Press, both of them, what the odds of being in Skull and Bones 322 was. Kroger is connected to Skull and Bones. So are a lot of big corporations. But the last Kroger shooting was March 22nd, 322. Today's shooting's 322 days later, and this is an ongoing pattern with mass shootings in the news. What do you guys know about the shooting? You guys know anything about the shooting?
Sir, I'm going to ask you if you can step back. Just don't talk to them. They're
Who are they?
None of your fucking business. Leave, or we'll leave you out.
What do I need to leave for?
Stop. Ed, stop. I'm going to ask you if I can help you just step back. Just don't talk to her.
Well, what are they so angry about?
You turn around and take him out here. I'm going to take him out. I'm going to jail first.
Stop. Not even working.
You.
Good day, officer. Doing well. How are you? I appreciate you for asking me too. So, just doing some independent journalism. I'm an author. I'm finishing a book right now on this very topic. I already have a book on this, mass shootings by the numbers in this nation. And in the book that I'm working on, I talk about the King Super shooting. Are you familiar with that last year? March 22nd, Colorado? It was also a Kroger store. And the news footage they put in, just to mock the people. You could see that a real shooting didn't happen there. They had a plastic dummy and an old man that wasn't even worried about anything on the ground. That shooting was March 22nd, 322. Today's shooting, also at a Kroger store, is exactly 322 days later. And I know this stuff's going on all over the nation because nobody has any answers, but the same pattern continues to persist. 322, the number of Yale Skull and Bones, the most powerful secret society in the nation. And it's obvious there's an agenda to scare people out of their rights and liberties, from COVID to all these shooting scares. So my question is, what do we know about the shooting here today?
You asking me or
Anybody? What happened here today?
What I can tell you is this. Obviously, they're in the preliminary stages of the investigation, and I don't think it's fair, right, for me to give you false info. Can you agree with that?
The shooting happened at 11 a.m. That's what the news said. 11 a.m. It's always 11. Sure. Just like when the Skull and Bones guy was in office, it was 9/11 with the big buildings that look like an 11 blamed on a boogeyman in a cave. Huge school. Please.
Okay. So, like I was saying, I think it wouldn't be right if I gave you false information or if I spoke out of turn with something that I didn't know. All I've been dealing with over here is the logistical side of things. Now, keep in mind, we do have a PIO with our police department that will be putting out information as it becomes available, right? And that person will be putting out stream or information that's accurate and that's consistent. I think you can appreciate that being a journalist. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
Okay.
But what I know is the information doesn't do any real journalism. You know, they just report whatever comes from the police department.
And I don't want to lie to you. I think it's important that I'm honest, and what you see is what you get.
So how come nobody knows anything hours after the shooting?
I'm sure we have investigators, as you see on scene, and there's a lot of stuff that's occurring. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to head out unless you have anything else I can help you with.
Is it going to be possible to talk to the commander here on the scene at some point?
What commander are you trying to speak to?
Somebody said you're
It's a
going.
multifaceted investigation, right? So there's different commanders for different parts of the investigation. So
Who would be the person that would have the information?
my recommendation would be this: if you're going to put in a media request, obviously you work in journalism, so you understand the formalities behind that, and then a PIO can get in contact with you. Other than that, have a good rest of the afternoon.
Okay. So again, nobody has any information. It's a big mystery, you guys. And remember, this is 322 days after the Colorado shooting, which was a complete hoax. So what I want to know is if they pulled off a hoax here in Richland as well. So no one's gone in and looked at the scene? Casings, dead bodies? Nobody has that, huh? Sir, have you been in the store? No comment, huh? Police started looking a lot more military after 9/11. You guys are doing a good job helping build the surveillance military state. Just what they want. Do you guys feel like being a police officer is an honorable position at this day and age? No comment on that either. Don't you think the real criminals are the ones that run this nation? That's what I've noticed. Every time people get together to do something about the real criminals, the police and military are always there to protect the real criminals. Ten gazillion cops. Nobody knows anything. These two look like they might know something. Good day, officers. Have you guys been inside? What did you see? How come you can't talk about it? Is it a hoax like King Soopers? You should tell the people if it's a hoax. People are losing rights and liberties. There's an agenda to take away the Second Amendment. Wasn't it interesting how they had that group right here and the one guy was like the big tough guy? I wonder if that's the group of crisis actors they got for the interviews. You guys football fans? You guys gonna watch the Super Bowl this weekend? Good for you. It's rigged trash. You know a Skull and Bones member is credited with American football? Walter Camp went to Yale Skull and Bones. Big number in NFL rituals, 2322. Should look into how sick the Super Bowl is. Joe Burrow. 2 years ago, I was down in Louisiana educating LSU about Joe Burrow, how the day he transferred to LSU, Billy Cannon died coincidentally the same day. He was the only LSU player to ever win the Heisman before Joe Burrow beat Clemson in the championship in New Orleans, just like Joe Burrow went on to do. Now Joe Burrow in his first NFL playoffs plays the 4 teams that Billy Cannon played for professionally. Skull and Bones, from right here today to the rigged NFL game. You guys should wake up to who really runs this nation and who you guys serve at the end of the day. You guys aren't keeping anyone safe. All right, we'll make a lap. We'll go see if anybody knows anything. But I'm pretty convinced nobody knows jack shit. And you've heard all the people who said they've been in the Star. They're not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. I can't talk yet. My boss said not to talk yet. I was worried I got here too late because right as I was pulling up, they had the whole main street blocked off, but right as I was pulling up, they all started to pull out, and I was like, uh-oh, maybe I got here too late, but they just opened up the main road right as I got here. You see that old pudgy guy who was acting like he wanted to fight me? Please, old man, it's going to be one punch, and you're going to be on the floor. You got to point it at me. Should we go live? Should we get out the truth? How many cameramen caught COVID from their camera this year?
Oh, this is fine.
I'm just wondering why you wear that slave muzzle when you're all by yourself.
I like slave muzzles.
Might be too much estrogen in the diet. Consider it. You guys look busy over here on your cell phones doing that hard journalism. You guys got any facts yet? This guy's hard at work right here, you guys. Hard at work. Cares about the truth. How you doing today, sir? What do you know about what's going on?
I don't. I'm the pilot, so the pilot's the last to know, but those
That-
guys would know.
You're the helicopter pilot?
Yeah.
Very cool. How long have you done that for? I just got to ask.
28 years now.
Awesome job. Well, he's the last person that should know anything. He's been flying in the air, but these guys on the ground, I guess there's this helicopter right there. These guys on the ground, they don't know anything. Excuse me, officers.
We have to have everything cordoned off in the parking lot.
Oh, I didn't see the tape here. Okay, so on the sidewalk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just trying to get some answers from somebody who knows something about what's happened here today.
So that would probably be our, public information officers. I'm doing perimeter here right now. So
I'm trying to find that person. The public information officer. I would love to talk to them.
if you want to call our dispatch, you can ask for it, but we have a lot of people asking for that right now. So they're the ones in charge of the investigation right now. So
Have you gone inside yourself?
I have not. No.
Have you talked to anybody who's been inside?
I have not. No.
Nobody knows anything.
No, it's all over the news.
Yeah.
The information that was released is on the news.
And
so.
and what do you think about the news? You think the news is very truthful and honest?
Well, for this information is pretty accurate.
How's that?
So I would check them out.
Oh, well, I got to ask you a question since you said that. Do you remember the King Super shooting last year in Colorado?
I don't. But I'm gonna
How come nobody remembers that? United States of amnesia. Come on, man. Nobody remembers not a single person remembers the King. That's the thing about this country, man. Nobody remembers anything. Nobody remembers anything. They even got the police officer mobile home here. It's a camp out. 100 police officers, not a single one knows anything. You think it like what's the top, like, honestly, why has it got to be so top secret about what's gone on in there? It's like $1 million intel about whatever really happened. Nobody can talk about it. Totally covert. I'm thinking about changing my day job. What's it pay to be a cameraman and just stand around? What's the going rate for that, sir? No comment? This guy's my favorite guy here because he has no regard for the truth. Good American sheep. Yeah, something tells me that is a group of crisis actors right there. Something tells me that's a group of crisis actors, that group I had that little interaction with. Yeah, somebody better get this guy out of here. All right, I'm looking at the chat. I mean, this is where everybody is. But, all right, here, yeah, since you guys are watching the news, tell me what the latest shit is they're reporting. What are they reporting right now? When I left, again, somebody said we needed to decode this. I already decoded it before I drove out here, but it was an hour and a half drive. There's the military SWAT-looking police vehicle over there. But, yeah, I mean, I pretty much already decoded it. I'm sure as they put out more details, there'll be more to decode, but... Fred Meyer shooting equals 201, huh? Today's 201 days after the Kroger founder died. Coincidentally, he died on my birthday. Go figure. Isn't it kind of weird that this ends up happening so close to me, 201 days after my birthday? And then coincidentally, Kroger guy died on the same day I was born. You know what was funny about when I was driving out here? This town's called Richland. Almost every town around here is named after the native tribes that have been wiped off the face of the earth from here. But this one's not. This one has a different name than a native name. Almost every town in this region's got a native name except for this one, Richland. And they say that a lot of big battles went down in this same area with, you know, the early settlers who had muskets and the natives who really didn't. But what I noticed about this being on the 38th day of the year, synced up with the shooting in Colorado, the 38th state, and again, Kroger and Colorado are 38 in Gematria. What was funny is when I was driving here, the interstate sign as you get close says 38 miles to Richland, and then you have to, the highway comes to a stop sign and you can go right or left, and that's at milepost 38. You make a right to go to Richland. So I'm like, 38 miles to town. Milepost 38 is where you make the bend to go here. And again, this town ends up getting used in clearly this 38 ritual on the 38th day of the year. Again, if you guys are new here, look up the movie poster for Murder by Numbers. You'll see that movie came out starring Sandra Bullock while she was 38, but they changed the E to the 3, the B to the 8. And in Gematria, murder, death, killing, they're all 38, just like Colorado, like Kroger. And again, from the 38th state, Colorado, on 3/22, March 22nd to 322 days later, the 38th day of the year, another Kroger store. So... But yeah, when I first came here, they had this road shut down, so they opened this road back up out here. They're still saying 1 killed, 1 injured. That's what they were reporting when I left. So at least they haven't blown the number way up like they did with King Supers and so many others. They could still do that later. But, you know, one of the things I noticed is there's no paramedics anywhere on scene. You know, there's no, I haven't seen a single paramedic here. You think that would be happening. You think there'd at least be a paramedic here. Here, I'm going to go for a little stroll around the outside of the campus here and get down to the other end of the Fred Meyer and just see if there's anybody different to talk to. Maybe we'll still find the person yet who will give us something. In light of the Jesuit fingerprints being all over this with the 201 days later, again, that's the big Jesuit number and Knights Templar number, and Skull and Bones is modeled after the Knights Templar and the Templar cross and the Jesuit logo. I noticed this street it's on, Wellesian equals 95, like the Jesuits created to counter the 95 Theses. Some things could be coincidental, but it is interesting. Get the ratings way up if I go start a fight with the crisis actor, but then I'll probably need somebody to come bail me out of jail, and Sweet Lady's really not going to she's really not going to like that. Was that all captured on camera? Could you guys hear when the crisis actor was getting all mad? You could tell who the lead crisis actor was. The rest were like the Three Stooges times 10. It's funny, I didn't even know that there was Del Tacos in Washington State. These are all over Arizona. Their food is absolutely gross. They give Taco Bell a run for their money in the grossness department. All right, hold on. Look, we got the crisis act. See how this guy's photographing and they're hugging right there in front of that guy? I mean, is that like a photo op right there? Fuck, I should have stayed right here. Officer, on your car it says integrity, teamwork, excellence, and I got to be honest, I'm not seeing that from any of the police force. There's no communication or teamwork with the populace. Nobody's willing to say anything. I mean, what's really happened here today? Why is it so top secret?
We're investigating a serious crime.
And you can't just put out the information that's happened? Have you seen the serious crime with your own eyes?
I have, yes.
Okay.
And I'm not going to talk to you about it because it's not my job. You need to talk to Commander Lee, who's the Deputy Information Officer.
Have you seen the image put out to the people about the supposed shooter? I'm like, if they're really trying to find this guy, why does the image look like it's from 1980? And this is a recurring thing with these mass shootings that make the national news. It's like, it's 2022. We've had HD cameras for what, a decade? More than that? Yet in these mass shooters, the image is so blurry. It looks like it's from 40 years ago. Sir, where's the integrity? Where's the teamwork? Where's Commander Lee? I'd love to talk to him. Can you say that I'd like to talk to him? Can I walk through here and look for Commander Lee? What's wrong if I walk through there? I thought the crime scene was in the store. How come there's no ambulance here? Uh-oh, he wanted to get out of here. Here. Integrity, teamwork, excellence. Yeah. How's that Zeppelin song go that came out 201 days after the Queen's birthday? Something in your hedgerow? Anyway. All right, we're walking down to the other end of the store here. It's a crime scene. Looks like it's just a scene full of police. Looks like it's just a contrived scene. That's what it looks like. It looks like a contrived scene to me. Here comes a useful idiot with this Dallas Cowboys logo in his window. I mean, think about how big of a clown you got to be to still think the NFL's legit. And you got to think, these corporations can afford to shut a day at door. They own the whole fucking world. That's the problem with things getting so big. Total fascism. They can afford to sacrifice their business for the day. If it helps them get a greater stranglehold on the people of the world, start to realize Kroger and these other huge companies actually own your government. Oh, that's what happens with the masks. Oh, there's cop cars everywhere. I don't even see cops down on this end, though. Here, while we're walking, just something I covered this morning that I got some more information on thanks to a great comment, and I went back and looked. Again, Chelsea Handler and Heather McDonald, these two comedians over the weekend, both made headlines for, scares related to vaccines. Heather McDonald was talking about how she was triple vaccinated and then supposedly fainted on stage right after. And Chelsea Handler had some kind of medical scare on her vaccinated and horny tour. And lo and behold, Heather McDonald got famous being a writer for Chelsea Handler's show, Chelsea Lately. And if you look this up, November 25th, 2011, Heather McDonald did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. And she said that the thing she's most scared of is fainting. And she has a fascination with fainting. She gave that interview 201 days before her birthday. And her birthday is also the day, it's the same day as Trump's, the flag's birthday, the day that's 200 in total, from June 14th through the end of the year is a total of 201 days. And again, event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation. Just like this ritual right here today is 201 days after the anniversary of the death of the Kroger founder. But again, everywhere you look, it's the same damn gang. pulling the wolves over the sheeple, if you want to call them that. But yeah, I mean, there's nobody here. I hear the helicopter firing up, so I guess the pilot's almost out of here. Oh, there he goes right there. I mean, just look at it, you guys. I mean, this is what we pay for. We pay for our own demise. The police surveillance state. Like I always say, at the end of the day, you get rid of the police, you get rid of the military, you can actually take down the tyrants and the fascists that really run this nation and exploit everybody. If everybody's like, well, then you'd have to fend for yourself against criminals. Yeah, then you'd have to actually be a man. Fend for yourself against fucking pieces of shit. I'd rather live in that world. The Wild West. Be a million times better than living in Bullshitville, lied to every day, enslaved, 13 years of slave school where your head's filled with bullshit so that you just trust everything authority tells you. Listen to everybody out here today. Oh, I can't talk until my superior says so. I'm just waiting until my superior tells me what to do next. That one cop said we gotta find Commander Lee. I just looked down at the chat. Yeah, that was a good one. They renamed the Washington football team the Commanders on the same day we deployed troops to the contrived crisis over there in Ukraine. Always some bullshit. Should I just make a run for it? Sprint for the Fred Meyers, run around and film the inside? I bet you there's not jack shit in there. Tell you what, if I had enough people pledging $1 a month, I'd do it, because then I would know that I'd easily have the bail money. But it's kind of the tactics we're going to have to do to get to the bottom of it, because just sitting here waiting for the same, I mean, it's just like, well, I mean, we'll tell you on the news. Oh, yeah. I love when the news comes out. That's when I know I'm always getting the truth. Well, I feel like there's less cops. You guys got an update on the story? Is that you guys learned what to report through what you're told through the phone? You think they'd let the reporters go in and see the scene for themselves and come out and speak organically? Tonight, Richland, I can't believe what I saw. Casings, blood, spilled over pineapple cans. You know, but what's it going to be? You just going to report what comes through the phone? Is that how they do it? That's how they do it, huh? Just follow the orders. You guys ever seen the movie Network? You ever seen that movie Network? I hope you're not worried that I'm going to mess up your broadcast. Wouldn't be the end of the world, you guys. It would just keep the propaganda from going out to the rest of the city. These are your guys' nightly news anchors. As you can tell, they care so much about the truth and the people they're reporting to. As you can actually see, they don't give a fucking shit, and they're just here to do their job and collect a check. Recognize what your news is. Nothing but bullshit, and here's what your reporting is. The guy getting his information through his phone. Did you guys see it yourself, or are you just reporting what you're told? Well, if you're live right now, we should get out the real word. People of Richland, 322 days ago on March 22nd, 322, there was another shooting at a Kroger store. No, I'm not, because the news should actually inform people. You want to put me on it? She's getting her information through the phone. You guys must be legit. People are rich into skull and bones. Look into what Tim Russert said to Bush and Kerry in 2004 about 322 and the secret society that runs this nation. Skull and Bones has a lot to do with Kroger that owns Fred Meyer and King Soopers, shooting on March 22nd, 322. And then 322 days later, here we are again. Here we are again. Skull and Bones is known as the Brotherhood of Death. This might be too kooky for all you guys who are used to watching the nightly news, but death in Gematria equals 38. Colorado's the 38th state. Here we are on the 38th day of the year. I need to leave? Oh, hey, peace. Why do I need to leave?
Because you're in our way and you're interfering with our job.
Interfering with your job?
Your place of work and interfere with what you're doing.
You know why I don't have a job? Because I don't want to be a good slave and order follower for tyranny.
I don't care what you want to do.
Well, you should care. You should care what I want to do.
I don't.
I'm here doing a justice for the people of this world. Nobody cares about you and your salary.
I don't care about my salary either. I care.
You know what Nazi soldiers used to say? You know what Nazi soldiers used to say? I'm doing my job. I'm getting my paycheck.
Actually, I'm doing my job.
Yeah, just like a Nazi soldier used to say. Here's another fucking genius, you guys. She's about to go live here. I'm gonna be respectful. Let's get it out. I'll help get out the word. Let's hear the truth. Fresh from her cell phone. Here, she's got it.
Turn it on.
Uh-oh, his camera ran out of battery. Here comes a pro, you guys. Watch how she does it. She's going to report the facts right from her cell phone. Hey, did you see the crime scene in there before you report on it? Are you just going to tell people what came through your cell phone, or did you see it with your own eyes? You ever think about what you're doing?
Hi, Tracy. Yeah, I'm on the here at the scene right now. I'm right by Good
So-
Water. They did have buses here earlier that had the victims inside. People that were in
I wasn't going to interrupt you guys, but this is
Please get out of
propaganda,
my
and this
live shot
camera
right now,
man
sir.
just actually
I
damaged
just
my
need to
camera.
see
I mean, what a rude cameraman. I said I was going to be quiet here.
Outside of the store, and they told me that they didn't hear gunshots at first. They thought that it was a popping of a
King
balloon
Soopers,
sound
you guys.
or
King
something
Soopers,
separate
March
like that.
22nd. King Soopers, March 22nd. Today's 322 days later. Understand, Skull and Bones, that's their number. They're the ones running the agenda to shut down the Second Amendment. These people are propaganda artists, and they're lying to you, and they're telling you that they got the facts because it just came through their cell phone. Thanks for putting me on, sir. I hope we're reaching the people of Richland tonight. You guys look up Gematria. D's the 4th letter, E's the 5th, A's the 1st, T's the 20th, H is the 8th. Added up, 38. Here we are on the 38th day of the year. You should see how often they do these stories of death in 38, like Colorado's the 38th state.
I've seen dead bodies of people getting dragged out of scenes.
Here?
Do you want to say these things to the people's families? Because they are emotionally traumatized.
Well, don't you think they want to know who the shooter is?
Okay for you to do this.
Don't you think they really want to know who the shooter is and who's responsible?
We'll figure it out when the police tell
How
us.
come the media's put out an image? Why does the media's image look like it's from 1980 of the shooter? Have you seen it yourself? 40 years old photo. Hey, asshole, what's your name? NBC, hey, you damaged my camera. I'll be after you, buddy. The fruitcake with the slave muzzle on. Good job. That's what everybody needs to do. Fuck up all their news broadcasts. Like their propaganda fucking matters. Oh, what happened to the family? Yeah, let's find out what happened. If people really got shot, let's find out who's really behind the shooting. Don't forget Jeff Bezos, who took over the world in the time of the pandemic. He was really nice. He was nice enough to remake Utopia about billionaires who want to depopulate the world with a virus, and it even has a detail about how billionaires are raising mass shooters for propaganda. It's like, what kind of fucking show is this to remake? You guys know where Commander Lee is? I was told to look for Commander Lee. You don't know who Commander Lee is? Okay. He said he's going to let Commander Lee know I'd like to talk to him. So I'm just going to hang out right here. We'll see if he helps out. Commander Lee must be somewhere over in that pile. Hey, I see the super chat, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. When I get back home, I'll read them proper. How you doing, officer?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right, thank you. Did you get to go inside and see what happened today?
I actually did.
What'd you see?
It's an ongoing investigation. Not going to share those details with you
I don't understand. What's the point of that protocol?
because it's an ongoing investigation. We don't release information until we know 100% what happened.
Why should a person trust the police, when they don't really share anything and they just come out and make these statements in the media?
Well, we do share stuff. So we've actually done 2 press releases already releasing information.
Did you show any photos of the scene?
We haven't taken photos of the scene.
I noticed that. That's the thing in the story. There's never any evidence of the actual shooting. You're just hearing the details.
So what you can do, if you want everything, you can do a public records request and get copies of the reports. And
Okay.
photos.
Public records request. Just make it with the Richland police.
Police department. Yep.
Okay. And you guys will share everything from the scene.
I'm not in the records department, so I can't speak for them.
Well,
So-
how soon could I possibly look into this? Tomorrow?
You can try tomorrow. I promise you we won't have everything done. We have up until 5 days to get you all the documents once we have completed our investigation.
Okay. Do you remember? Nobody remembers it, but do you remember the big national news story last year on March 22nd, the King Super shooting?
No.
Man, I guess you guys are so busy you don't remember. That was the big news story. A shooting at a different Kroger in Colorado on 322. Do you know about the number 322? 322 is the number of Yale Skull and Bones. Remember Tim Russert on Meet the Press? He asked Bush and Kerry what the odds of them both being in Skull and Bones were, running for the highest office in the land. And he said, can you tell me something about that secret society number you guys go by, 322? And they both laughed and said, oh, we can't tell you anything about that because it's a secret. Well, today's 322 days after the March 22nd shooting, and this is a pattern in a lot of national news shootings that are like the same thing repeated 322 days later. It happens over and over and over again. I've written 2 books about this, and again, in none of these shootings is there any evidence that there was, I mean, nothing's put out to the public that there was actually ever a shooting. I'm not saying that there definitely was. Well, if you go and look at what they did put out for the supposed shooting last year in Colorado, you could...
That's fascinating. I'll be honest with you.
My name's Zachary Hubbard. My books are Letters and Numbers and Number Games.
Number games?
Yes.
322
322 is the number. Today's 322 days after the March 22nd shooting. This has gone on with so many shootings over the years. This is nothing new.
Thank you for that information.
I appreciate you, officer. I'm giving you an A+, sir. The best sheriff in town. Hey, if you ever run, I'm voting. He's interested in the 322. Well, at least we got one true seeker out here on the campus. Are you Commander Lee?
No, I'm not. I spoke with you earlier.
Okay. Well, a guy said he was going to see if he could find Commander Lee for me.
Oh, really?
That's what he told me.
Okay.
I don't know if he's just pulling my chain.
Come on.
Is Commander Lee really the boss?
There's multiple bosses out here.
One guy told me Commander Lee was in charge.
He's one of the guys in charge, yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys are talking about the way that officer's walking. I see the joke. He does walk funny. He's all right, though, too. He's been the second best one out here. I'm curious about the one guy with a South African accent. Who's he? Who is he? Good for you for taking your mask off. It's like a real man.
Oh, better put it back on there. All right.
He put it back on. Poor guy. You guys get your propaganda segment in? Hey, what's your name? I got to call and file a complaint. You knocked the camera out of my hand. That's illegal. What's your name, buddy? What's your name? You just want to knock my property out of my hand and violate the law? Hey, officer! Officer! What's your name? I got to call your company. You violated the law. You deliberately smacked the camera out of my hand. That was not a nice thing to do. I know you think you're doing your job, but you're actually doing a disservice for the world. If you ever have children someday, if you already have them, you're helping build the slave state.
Just so everybody knows, you're being audio and video recorded, okay? And so what's going on? I'm sorry.
He keeps harassing us when we're trying to do our live shots, and he interrupted both of them. We're just trying to do our job.
Okay. What can I help you with? Because you called me over.
Yeah, I'm just asking if he can give me his name. The reason I interrupt their shots is because he smashed the camera out of my phone to the ground. I mean, that's not legal, is it?
Okay. So what is it? What is it that you're after?
I was trying to give them some real news, something they could give the people of this town that's useful. I came out here as a citizen who cares. Interrupting, you're reading from your cell phone and reading off nothing that you don't even know what's going on?
Okay, so.
But sir, is it legal to smash somebody's property to the ground? Is that legal?
No.
It's not legal. So should this man by law be required to provide his name since I'm asking for that?
No, he's not required to give it to you.
So I just need to file a complaint with this company?
Sure.
Okay, well, you're lucky, buddy, but we'll file a complaint.
Okay, so now they would like you to leave them alone, please. You need to leave them alone because they're trying to do their job. So if you could leave them alone.
Well, they're the news. I'm trying to give them some real news.
Okay, so they don't want your news. They want to provide their own news because you don't work for their company. They're trying to provide
But their news goes out to us, and it's propaganda, and it's causing a big problem. And I mean, that's all the nightly news does to us, is lie to us day after day.
Okay.
And you just see how it works. I mean, they don't even know what's going on. They're just reading from their cell phone. Oh, this is what's going on here. It's like...
Okay. So is there a reason why you can't just leave them alone and let them do their thing?
Well, I thought I was doing a service for the city of
So
Richland.
you're not doing a service. I'm asking you why you can't just leave them
Ah,
alone.
so
why
I have a
do
question
that?
for you. How do you know that I'm not doing a service for the people of Richland?
Because they're here on official business. You're here.
Is their official business helpful to Richland? Does the nightly news ever help anybody out?
Possibly, yeah.
Not really. It's mostly just fear-mongering, negativity, bullshit.
That's your opinion?
I'd say it's a fact.
Okay. But that's your opinion, correct?
Yeah, but I'd say it's also based in facts. I've been exposing how bullshit the news is for a long time.
Perfect.
Here, nobody here can remember. Maybe you can remember. Do you remember the King Super shooting, March 22nd in Colorado at another Kroger grocery store?
I don't remember.
How can nobody remember this? You know Gore Vidal, he said the USA stands for United States of Amnesia. I think it's true, man. Nobody remembers anything past Monday. But 322 days ago, 322, on March 22nd, 322, there's always some big propaganda in the news on March 22nd, there was another shooting at a Kroger's. He doesn't really want to listen, but for you, officer, just so you know, I'm an author. I have 2 books. You think the news want to interview a local author, best-selling author? Anyway, there's a major pattern in this nation of supposed mass shootings where there's never any evidence for being 322 days from the last. This is a pattern that's been going on for over a decade. And again, it's a member of a powerful secret society, Skull and Bones, which has a lot of influence over our federal government. And there's a major federal agenda to disarm. I mean, we have a president of the United States right now and an attorney general who said that, they want to attack the Second Amendment. So I'm here as a citizen, as an American who understands what's really going on. You remember how in the Constitution it says to protect ourselves from enemies foreign and domestic? We have domestic enemies that have been running this nation for a long time. And again, this is how they operate. So, how you doing, officer?
I'm Commander Lee.
Commander Lee, thank you. I am just trying to find out what really happened here today in the Fred Meyer, because I know for a fact that 322 days ago on March 22nd at a different Kroger store in Colorado, there was a shooting hoax reported as a real tragedy. Now, I'm not saying this is a hoax here today, but I'm trying to find any real information that an actual shooting happened here today.
Okay, other than what I'm going to tell you is like what I put out in the release. Yes, there was an actual crime that was occurred here today. There was a murder. And there's another individual that's still in the operating room as far as receiving care. So yes, there was actual crime that occurred here today.
Have you guys arrested the shooter?
We're still looking for the individual.
There's a lot of cops here at the scene. You think they'd be out in the city looking for him. And I notice there's no paramedics here either.
Right, because there's no victims currently here.
Okay, so you already took care of the victims.
That was the first thing that right away.
So have you noticed that the image put out in the media looks very dated and old of the supposed suspect? Have you seen the image put out? I mean, it literally looks like it's from 1980, the photo.
No, do you have a copy of it so I can see?
I mean, if you just turn on any news site, there's one image put out everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's CNN, Fox News, all of them. They all have the same blurry, old image. And this is just par for the course with these mass shootings. They always put out these images that look super old, and here we are in the age of HD cameras.
Well, I can tell you this. The image that I released to the media was the image that was taken of him today from the store.
Could you show me that image in person?
Sure.
I would love to see that. I would appreciate that.
That was one image that was released of him. I can't help their securities or their cameras. As much as I'd love for them to have 4K, I can't control that, right? That's the other image.
That's the one that all the media is using. That's the exact one. I mean, that's a terrible image.
Can't help that, man.
Nobody in the store with their cameras gets a snap of the guy?
Not that I'm aware of at this point, unfortunately.
Okay. So you saw the deceased with your own eyes?
No.
Did anybody?
Well, I can tell you that I saw him on video, but not in person.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I watched the act occur on video, so I can attest to you that there was a crime that occurred.
Okay. Just something to look into that I find real funny. You know Amazon, Jeff Bezos' company?
I know Amazon.
They released, they remade a show in the time of the pandemic. They put it out in 2020. It's called Utopia. It's about a conspiracy of billionaires faking a pandemic in the news and then killing off the populace. Their plan is to depopulate with a vaccine. But one of the storylines is also how these billionaires are raising people to be mass shooters and shootings. It's just a really messed up show. They raise these two twins to use for propaganda. They kill off one, and they don't let the people in the news know that it's actually a twin. Just a really messed up show. And you think, why would you remake this in the time of the pandemic? But I just look at all this stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a serious pattern with the mass shootings. The facts never really add up. I know that what they did last year in Colorado was a total hoax based on the supposed truth or the supposed images they put out of the shooting, which is a complete joke. I mean, they put, just like at Stoneman Douglas, they put out an image of a dummy, and you're supposed to think that's a real person. It's a joke. So some of these things are not real, and we're being lied to that people are being killed. And that's why I'm here today. Did anybody really die at this one, or is it the same thing? You know, is it just scaring a town? Is it spreading the fear?
I completely understand where you're coming from and wanting to do your due diligence to follow up on those types of things, but I can attest to you that somebody is dead here.
Okay, you saw it through a video.
Family, no, that's all I'll go into as far as that, but yes.
Well, I do appreciate you, Commander Lee, and I appreciate you sharing the images. I'm just surprised because I guess I understand that the surveillance cameras aren't as good, but you just think at this day and age, there'd be a better way to have photos when these things happen, because it's always like that, this old, grainy, dated image. So, all right, Commander Lee, appreciate it. You have a good one. So he didn't see it with his own eyes, but he's one of the people in charge. He saw it through a video, which is interesting. I mean, he's convinced that that's the truth, the video footage of it. I mean, could be. They could be really killing some people. Well, almost all the cops have cleared out. You think they would have been out all over the town since they don't have the shooter yet, but instead they just all waited here in case he'd come back and turn himself in, I suppose. And think about how often that's the story, you guys. Actually, think about how often that's the story. We've seen it multiple times where after these mass shootings, supposedly the shooter goes and turns himself in at the police, which also seems suspicious. Either that or he suicides himself. All right, True Seeker, I better wrap it up because I got to call Sweet Lady. She's getting home right now and she's going to wonder where I am. But, yeah, you know, I just wanted to get on the ground and see. I mean, we definitely didn't get all the answers, but this is how it is. This is just like when I tried to look into the school shooting in Washington State. Right? See, that in Washington State, we had the Marysville Pilchuck High School shooting in 2014, right before the vote for the new gun, you know, essentially anti-Second Amendment legislation. We just happened to have a mass shooting, and then it became part of the narrative as the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. So... All right, you guys, I think I'm going to start my walk back to the car because, as you can see, I mean, the scene's clearing out. The chopper's out of here. Almost all the police are out of here. We got to talk to Commander Lee. He's the guy who put out the image the media's using, the blurry one. And we got to see the news media do their job today. Oh, look, they got to set up their news broadcast in front of Del Taco. They got to go inside. They got special permission to go inside the tape to escape me. Zach Hubbard.
Zach? Chris.
Good to meet you,
Do me a
Chris.
favor, man. Please don't disturb them while they're doing the thing. Hey,
I wasn't going to until he smashed the camera out of my hand.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So
I know that they asked that they're doing some live shoot. That's all I asked.
I said I'd be quiet while they're broadcasting, and he knocked the camera out of my hand. I said, okay, you want to do that? I'll interrupt your broadcast. So
Gotcha.
I don't see the news as our friend. I see it as a weapon of propaganda. So
I appreciate it.
appreciate you, Commander Lee. You have a good one.
You too. And if you see a pair of Oakleys,
Uh-oh.
give me a shout. I dropped them somewhere.
Did you just have him before you talked to me?
No, it was when I went over couple hours ago.
I'll give a stroll just in case.
It was this way. That's where it came from.
Down this strip here?
Yeah.
Well, since Commander Lee did us a favor, I can look for his Oakleys here for a second. And that's why if there was ever a fallout day, you guys, I think some police would be on our side at the end of the day. I have a feeling Commander Lee would be all right. Tell you what, I don't want to arm wrestle Commander Lee right now. I can tell he's hitting the weights. He's hitting the weights and not the donuts, but yeah, I don't think so. All right, True Seeker, we'll do the walk back. When I first got here, this road that people are coming through, when I first got here, they had this road shut down. And I can flip the camera around. All right, True Seeker. So anyway, I mean, I wish we could have got some harder details, but I think we served somewhat of a purpose. We figured out nobody really knows what's going on. Everybody's just getting information passed down. I'm going to look into that public information request, though, see if we can get some photos from the shooting. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, dude?
What up? I'm from Richland. Just want to come say what's up. I saw your site.
Did you want to be on camera?
I mean, it's whatever. I just want to say
You
hi.
got to be on camera. The True Seeker came out. What's up, man? We got a True Seeker out here.
Yes, sir. Here to support Zach. I saw him on my live stream. I had to leave work early to come say what's up.
Well, I'm glad I didn't leave 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got your voice and everything, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You always been here in Richland?
Yeah, I grew up here in the Tri-City, so I mean, this event.
It's good, man. I love it out here on Eastern Washington. It's just a beautiful place. Sunny most of the time.
Got the river. I mean,
This is a better place. I'd rather be here because you're closer to the Columbia.
yeah, you got the gang violence and shit you have to worry about over there.
As long as you stay out of the wrong neighborhoods, it's all right. But yeah, indeed.
All
So.
right, Zach. Just want to say what's up.
All right, man. Next time we meet up, I'll sign the books for you.
All right, they're already autographed.
Oh, did I ship them to you through the mail?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Well, thanks for supporting the work and thanks for coming out, man.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, you have a great day.
Hey, Bengals money line.
Let's not jinx it, but I like it. All right, take care, man. All right, we got a True Seeker coming out. And that's always good. Be funny if when I'm leaving town, they pull me over. Again, let's just say, if you guys were here earlier, I was that group that was just kind of standing around, and then one of them was all angry. I mean, if they don't know who the killer is and he's on the loose, maybe they'd be interested in what I was saying instead of getting so angry. But I mean, people are that way. Just get angry. Just get angry to get angry. I'm gonna have to find out if I made the Richland Nightly News. Something tells me they're not gonna upload that take. But I did learn from being down in Seattle. I should have never got out of the way of the camera. If you guys weren't here in March of 2020, I had the Fox News broadcast trying to wrestle me. And then I let the producer lure me away from the camera. That was the whole mistake. So, anyway, seasoned veteran now. I just know to stay in front of the camera. All right, let me check in with the chat. You guys thought I did an okay job? All right, I appreciate that. I was hoping it would be better than it was. But I'll tell you what, it was better than nothing. It was better than nothing. You think his Oakley's comment was speaking in code? I don't know. I don't know about that. Oakley's are pretty common sunglasses, and I mean, you need sun out. You need some shades out today. It's bright. The most curious person there to me was the taller black gentleman with the South African accent. I couldn't figure out what he was on about. It's like, who's this guy? He was like, I'm recording. And I was like, what, you're recording a police wagon in the parking lot doing nothing with its lights on? I'm sure this is important. All right, True Seeker, I'm almost back to the car. I got to call Sweet Lady and let her know that I'm out and about. She's going to be mad because she's going to be getting home right now and she's expecting dinner to be ready. But, you know, truth matters. So I had to go do some, what I call important work today. And if you guys can download this video, that would be great, because based on me talking about King Supers and how many videos I lost over King Supers, I have a feeling that this video will only last for so long. So if anybody out there is can download this, that would be awesome. And if you do download it, please re-upload it to BitChute if you can, and let me know about it. But that's all for now, True Seeker. And thank you to everyone for the super chats. Wait, is there a way to read them on here? I don't know how to read the super chats on my cell phone. Well, when I do the next live stream, I'll go back and look at the super chats and I'll respond to all those comments and say thank you to everyone who donated. But thank you very much. You guys are very generous. And at least it's a beautiful day out here in Eastern Washington. Until next time, True Seeker.